Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we do every weekday, starting around 1 p.m. and going throughout the afternoon, covering a wide range of topics. This is a topic we've covered before, and it is coming back. I'm talking about the 8 Seconds Rodeo taking place here in Portland. This is the third annual event since it was launched, and I have to say this is seems to have been pretty successful so far. Back for the third year, and joining us right now, we have Ivan McClellan, founder of this rodeo. And Ivan, always good to have you here on the show to talk about this and just, looking at this now. I mean, we talked before that first one happened, when you were just getting this thing going and decided, hey, I'm going to start a rodeo out of nowhere. And your bold move clearly has paid off. So I just want to start by asking, how are you feeling after these, coming into this third year and where you're at right now?
Yeah, that first year I had never planned a birthday party. I had no business doing a rodeo, and we just sort of jumped out and knew that something would catch me, and we did it. We pulled it off somehow, and 2,000 people were there, and it was big energy. The energy in that room, I'll never be able to replicate. People were so excited. People were confused as I was about why this event was in Portland, but we knew it would be a success, and it hit. And then the second year we moved to the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, and 7,200 people were there, and we just had a lot of activities going, a lot of energy, a lot of fun. The Cowboys had a great time. This year we're expecting over 8,000 people at the event, and we're going to do our best to top what we've done in the past 2 years.
Which, I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, going from not planning a birthday party to now an 8,000 person event for the third straight year here, having it here, but then also expanding too, because you've got, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but you expanded across the country as well.
Yeah, we're doing an event in Philadelphia this year. We're doing the Portland event June 15th, and then we're doing Philadelphia in October 11th. Have no clue what to expect in Philadelphia. We're going out there just riding the wave from Portland and knowing that there's a big population there and a lot of people that are excited about rodeo, but maybe might not have ever experienced one. Definitely not a black rodeo. So, we're doing 2 cities next year. Who knows what might happen? We might do 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense at this point. So for the 8 Seconds Rodeo here in Portland, and now that you've really experienced this over those 3 years, and just seeing that reaction that you mentioned from the crowd and that feeling you get, what is it, do you think, about this particular event that resonates so well within the rodeo community, but also here in Portland, in the Northwest?
I think in Portland, it's something that, has never really happened. There hasn't been a black rodeo in the Pacific Northwest until us. And so a lot of folks think about rodeo when they think about your Pendleton Roundup, and they think about your St. Paul Rodeo, and they think about going out of town and sitting in a dusty arena somewhere in the sun, eating cotton candy and watching bull riding and calf roping and all of these traditional rodeo events. We're the furthest thing from a traditional rodeo that exists right now. I like to call it a showdeo, because I think anybody can come and have a good time. There's comedy, there's music from the DJ. He's playing hip hop and R&B and gospel, a little bit of country. And if you don't really care about the rodeo sports, you'll still be dancing and having a good time in the aisles. But if you do want a hell of a rodeo show, and if you've never been to a rodeo before, you're going to see some of the best competitors in the country come out and ride broncos and ride bulls, and we got some of the fastest barrel racers that you'll ever see. So great energy, just sort of taking the rodeo format and remixing it a little bit. It's just something that has resonated with people. We do it right in downtown Portland, the least likely place that you would ever see this kind of event, and everybody that's come in there has been thrilled by it.
Well, you mentioned, if you are a rodeo fan, you're going to see amazing competitors, because that is absolutely part of the event. But talking about the people who maybe haven't seen a rodeo before, or maybe have never experienced something like this, because as you mentioned, there hasn't been a rodeo like this in the Northwest before you started it. Do you see it bringing fans in that weren't previously necessarily or would have considered themselves rodeo fans?
Yeah, I remember that first year. People showed up in Jordans and baseball hats and T-shirts. Nobody knew really what to wear or how to react, and they were sitting in a little, convention hall. We put up the fencing, we put up the bleachers. It was, butt to butt, shoulder to shoulder, packed into this room. And that first Bronco came out, and that crowd went absolutely nuts. I saw joy leaping out of people's bodies. And the Cowboys picked up that wave and were running with it too. And they were throwing their hats in the crowd and climbing over the fences. And it was people that were the furthest thing from the rodeo crowd experiencing this for the first time and getting hooked. And so what I hope is that a lot of kids that came to the rodeo maybe had never seen a cow in person. I'm hoping that they'll get curious about it, and we'll find all the kids that were born with a hoof print on their heart and make some new cowboys.
Nice. Well, there's some things this year, as you mentioned, each year kind of growing it for this year's rodeo. What can people expect, and what are you bringing to the table for this?
One of the big things that's really hot right now, riding the Beyonce Cowboy Carter wave, is line dancing. There's a big trend on TikTok to do this dance called Boots on the Ground, and we're going to be line dancing in the concourse at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. We're going to have one of the best line dancing instructors in the country coming out and teaching people how to get down like that. We've got fans. Part of these line dances, if you got these big clack fans that you open and you clack them. And so we're just bringing a whole vibe, a whole new energy. I don't know how receptive people are going to be to it, but we're going to try it out. I'm definitely not going to be out there dancing, but if the mood takes me, I might get out and try. We've got a roping station. Some of our cowboys, you can meet them face to face, and they can teach you how to rope a steer. Not a real steer, but a metal one. And you can learn a little bit of roping on the concourse. Of course, we're going to have a mechanical bull. You can show your skills there, get some good photos of you getting bucked off, and that'll be exciting. Tons of photo opportunities throughout the concourse. Delicious food from local food vendors outside. There's going to be tons of food trucks and drinks, and you can just sort of come early and have a good time with your family. And then when you go in the arena, you know what we're going to do. We're going to throw down. It's going to be, some of the best music and some of the best rodeo performances that you'll ever see.
Yeah. I mean, all sounds amazing. I love the one thing you said there. Like, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to do it anyway. So
yeah, that's kind of the spirit. Yeah,
you got to throw it out there. Yeah, and see what happens. So you also talked about having those food trucks there and like bringing in all kinds of different aspects to this thing, because there's a lot of people involved in this. That's a lot of coordination. And how important is that interaction with the community, the Portland community as a whole, and different vendors and different people to make this all work?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we provide vendor space for very little money for local small businesses so that they can come in and sell, everything from jewelry to hat wigs, which I didn't know was a thing until last year, but
I just found out about that.
Hat with a wig in it. Come out and get yours. They're very popular. They do extremely well. We've got people selling sneakers. We've got all kinds of different small business vendors. We've got Mr. OK's Essentials. They come out and sell essential oils and candles and the like. And we're excited to support those businesses and get them in front of thousands of people so that they a lot of times can have their biggest day of the year, selling their wares on the concourse. And we charge them very little to do this, given the rent that we're paying and the cost of the event. But it's important for us to contribute to small business, because I really think that that's the lifeblood of the community. And one of Portland's big differentiators is the love that we have for small businesses. And then you do a lot of local small food truck vendors outside. The unique thing about our event is not only do we have 8,000 plus people coming to experience the show, but outside it's also PSU graduation that day. over at the Moda Center. So the food vendors just crush. They do they do very, very well outside. They've got lines all day, and they're very appreciative of that opportunity. And again, we let them have that space for very little cost. The day of the event, we've got well over 100 employees working on the rodeo, from grounds crew that come from everywhere, from Welch's to Wasco and far beyond. Sisters, they all come out and support us and bring in the livestock and set up the fencing and all of the stuff that we need for the rodeo. And then we have a lot of local vendors sort of building out this arena, building out the light, the sound, and all of the things that make the experience special.
It sounds really interesting that you bring in people, you said from Wasco, from Sisters, from wherever. So kind of tapping into that rodeo, I guess people who have that rodeo knowledge and infrastructure knowledge, it sounds like you're bringing them in.
Yeah, we need them. We need them because nobody in Portland knows how to do this.
Yeah.
And we got to bring the country boys in so that they can go and wrangle the bulls, and they know how to open the fences, and they know how to keep our riders safe. So you'll see a lot of the folks coming from rural Oregon to come out and support our event, and they love the event. A lot of them are like, you'll never hear a roar at a rodeo like you do at the 8 Seconds Rodeo, and so they get a thrill out of the event, and they look forward to it year round as well.
Well, third annual year. But can we let everybody know too? I mean, I assume there's still some tickets left.
Yeah,
at this point. I know it sounds fast, but for everybody out there, can we just remind them of when, where, and how they can get those tickets for this?
Yeah, it's June 15th at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. You can go to the number 8secondsrodeo.com and click a link to Ticketmaster there, or you can search for 8 Seconds Rodeo on Ticketmaster. Don't go to the third-party resellers. You'll pay too much money there. Go directly to Ticketmaster and get your tickets there. We've got tickets on the upper level. They start at $42. And come out and have a good time with us.
There it is, right there. Have a good time. Well, Ivan, thank you very much, for joining us. I always appreciate your time, and congratulations on this success. And now taking it to Philadelphia too. It's like you just keep throwing things out there and see what works.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate it.
You bet. All right, and for everybody who's watching too, again, this is Fox 12 now. We're going to take a break, but we've got lots of coverage here coming up this afternoon. If there's ever breaking news, this is the place to go between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. I'll have that for you. But taking a break. I'll talk to you in just a bit. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 now.